Yo, people in the front row, get prepared for a great show.
Alvin Nathaniel Joyner, aka Xzibit, born September 18th, 1974. Never no superstar, save that for Michael Jackson. A line from Xzibit on his debut single Paparazzi that speaks volumes looking back at his career. If there ever was an artist that skipped mainstream to go straight Hollywood, it was MJ himself, but eventually Xzibit would follow suit, swerving into the TV lane with multiple TV shows and movies, none bigger than his work as the host of the MTV show Pimp My Ride, that he's become most known for by the mainstream public. A show many fans aware of his music journey believe hurt his rap career in the long run. Xzibit rose to rap fame, first working with rapper and producer King T and the Alcoholics, before linking with Dr Dre and rappers like Snoop Dogg and Eminem that elevated his star power to another level. He's always had a unique voice for hip-hop and fits seamlessly into the gangsta rap era of the 90s, with the crossover appeal to also become his most popular rap self in the new millennium. Evident by his first platinum album in the year 2000, followed by 2 gold albums at his peak from 2000 through 2004. Thereafter, Xzibit seemed to seek Hollywood and television success and became just as prolific in that space as being a rapper, some say even more. Either way, he's been not only a successful rapper, achieving platinum and gold statuses most rappers can say the same for themselves, but a standout when you think of West Coast hip-hop back in the 90s. Yet, his legacy always seems to fly under the radar, underground fans remembering him from his debut album At the Speed of Light, released in 1996, where his rap style was much different and much more reminiscent of the golden era of hip-hop and the boom-bap sound. His song Eyes May Shine featuring Mobb Deep being one of his standout tracks from that era, where he let the world know he had no time to be a star. He was too busy getting tipsy, dealing with life, and being in an environment and time you couldn't be vulnerable in the streets or on records. In 2004, he became the show Pimp My Ride's primary host, and it became an instant success in the reality show television era of the early 2000s. He spent 3 years in that position, becoming synonymous with that show, even more than his rap career. He moved on to numerous popular movies and TV shows, releasing 3 albums after joining MTV that failed to capitalize off his Hollywood stardom and translate that into continuing to be a top rapper. As one of the best in the game early on, Xzibit transitioned into exploring other forms of entertainment, and as a gift and a curse, he became successful on screen, but less appreciated in rap for these reasons. What happened? Let's talk about it. It's your boy JC, Stunted Growth Music. Get it, man. Take a minute to like, subscribe, and comment on who I should do next. Xzibit is a rapper, actor, and TV show host born in Detroit, Michigan, where he spent the first 9 years of his life before losing his mother. Difficult to deal with, he was sent to live under state care in Albuquerque, New Mexico at 14 years old, where he remained until 17. His desire to be a rapper led him to California, where he became a street earner before meeting rapper King T, Madcap, and the group The Alcoholics, with whom he began working with throughout the early 90s. He also met Snoop Dogg before both became household rap names, who invited him to work on a song for his No Limit Top Dog album that Dr Dre had a hand in producing on a song called Please. This led to him meeting Dre in the studio and impressing him by writing his verse in 15 minutes. Dr. Dre invited Xzibit back to help work on his Chronic 2001 album, and a relationship started there. He never signed with Aftermath like many thought, already signed to Loud Records / Columbia, which didn't stop Dr. Dre from going to bat for the release of his projects and producing on Xzibit's albums throughout his career. By his third album, Xzibit had enough connections and standout features. It landed at 12 on the Billboard 200 and number 1 on the rap and R&B charts. Stunt number 1, a rap style change. In rap music, it's difficult to fully understand as an artist what the fans want most from you, which explains why some rappers have continued success and some rappers end up having a good few years, then can't seem to connect. The fan is always changing as the years go, where one day they like your music, then the next day they act like you aren't the same person if your music isn't similar to what they first knew you for. The first reason I'd say Xzibit is underrated in the rap game is because when he first came into the game, his style was more geared toward the traditional hip-hop fan who enjoys music with substance and a purpose, not necessarily because it sells or increases the artist's popularity. Because Xzibit came into the game as a lyrical beast with a distinct gruffy voice, where he made songs like Eyes May Shine, Paparazzi, and just about all the songs from his first two albums geared toward a style popular mostly on the underground hip-hop scene, seeing as mainstream wasn't yet open to gangsta rap played on their radio stations that promoted violence and militant anti-establishment behavior. But to be honest, I think Xzibit did the right thing in transitioning to a sound that could be played on things like radio, MTV, as well as BET, and could open more doors for his image to become more known as an entertainer. Heading toward the 2000s, I think all rappers were aware of rap leaning toward crossing over, and all had a decision to make whether to continue the 90s hip-hop sound and remain underground, or get with the times and make more radio records and music videos geared toward what could gain more traction. The style change made him much more successful by his third, fourth, and fifth albums, but his lyrics had to be sacrificed, and now by that stage he was no longer a thought on the underground rap scene, nor was he making the mainstream hits that kept you popular anyway. It's a huge reason they underrate him today. Stunt number 2, Pimp My Ride. Pimp My Ride, the MTV show, was supposed to be a show with a different guest host every episode, but when they found Xzibit and auditioned him, it was clear he should be the permanent host going forward. Xzibit by 2004 had a platinum album and a gold album by the time Pimp My Ride came along, but wanted to increase his visibility in those times without social media. You had to actually either be on TV or radio in order to be seen as a rapper on the top level in hip-hop and to sell records, which was now an important part to being a rap artist beginning in that era. Of course, selling records has always been the main goal, but for bragging rights purposes, notoriety made you a bigger artist. Xzibit had performed on the big screen on a few occasions prior to Pimp My Ride, but the show became so popular that he decided to follow his acting career path, with his music now playing backseat to the show. Make matters worse, depending how you look at it, the show showed a different side of Xzibit the fans didn't know existed. He was much less intimidating than when he rapped, and as far as his street fans, it made him look a certain way that wasn't conducive to moving his gangsta rap career forward. Being on the show itself didn't stunt his growth, but his personality on the show made his rhymes less believable as ultimately a street rapper, and he lost steam musically. He was on TV every day as the host of a show some even saw as corny. Crossing back over to gangsta rap made him less appealing as a rapper, but his television and film career was only just beginning. His success in that arena became much more vast and arguably more successful than his time as a rapper. Stunt number 3, never signing to Aftermath and movies. In their prime, Aftermath Records, under the Dr Dre umbrella, was the perfect fit for Xzibit. Dre and X made great songs together, and even when Dre would executive produce his albums, it was clear the chemistry he had with not just Dre, but other Aftermath artists and affiliates like Snoop Dogg, Eminem, and 50 Cent. Because he was already signed to Loud/Columbia when he met Dr. Dre, an initial pairing wasn't possible. Then later, Aftermath added 50 Cent, and 50's wave grew into one of the biggest in hip-hop history, leaving Aftermath in position they didn't need to seek out an artist like Xzibit, nor had the time to focus on anything else not 50 Cent or G-Unit. He was that big a force in the rap game at the time. After his 2006 album Full Circle, Xzibit focused even more on his movie and television catalog, securing more and more roles off the back of Pimp My Ride. He didn't have time to chase being a more successful rapper, and his music output suffered while his on-screen roles got bigger. This led to years in the TV world after he released his final album in 2012, And from then, hip-hop fans grew to know him more for that than the lyrical rapper he was in the 90s, where he did receive credit for being one of the dopest. All in all, Xzibit still had a solid rap and television career. He got to do both at the same time, and yes, Pimp My Ride did overshadow his music career, but it helped launch him further as an actor and allowed him a crossover path after rap slowed down. Great rapper, even though he remains underrated. Salute, much respect. It's your boy JC, Stunted Growth Music, and I'm out.